Hello and welcome to BikeWale, and this is all you need to know about the new Royal Enfield Interceptor Bear 650. Now the Bear 650 is based on the Interceptor, and that shows in the name. So you've got the exact same fuel tank, you've got the same chassis and the same engine. There are changes made to the chassis in terms of the headstock being strengthened so that it can take on more load. You've got an engine that produces 8% more torque, horsepower is the same. And you've got the chassis again, which goes up a little. Here again some strengthening has been done. The kick here is to give it that sort of scrambler feel. Now there are other add-ons compared to the Interceptor, and like we said, they've strengthened the neck here, and the reason for that is the upside down fork. The upside down fork has 130 mm of travel, so compared to the Interceptor there's more travel, and this is a stiffer fork, so you have better dynamic ability there. You've also got a 19-inch wire spoke front wheel, unlike the Interceptor, which has an 18-inch. And then the disc, again, the size is the same, but instead of the floating type that you had on the Interceptor, this is the fixed type. There is a change to the master cylinder, and the expectation is that the braking compared to the Interceptor will be slightly better. That's the front wheel. It runs 100/90/19. And these are tires made by MRF, developed specially for the Bear 650. And then when we move to the rear, we've got twin shocks, as we see in almost every 650 platform motorcycle. But unlike the Interceptor, there is no gas charge damping here, or that gas charger here. This is a regular twin tube shock. But Royal Enfield says that this is a show-up, and it is of a higher quality compared to what you get on the Interceptor and the Continental GT. So the refinement levels in terms of ride should be better. The travel here is 115, that's 115, which is more than the Interceptor, which is of course 88. And then the engine might be same, but as you can see, the exhaust now comes out only on one side instead of two, so it becomes 2 into 1. And sound wise, I don't think it's going to change much, but in terms of look, that's the feel that they wanted to give it as a scrambler. Similarly, to give it that scrambler feel, the foot peg position has changed compared to the Interceptor. It's slightly forward and more tucked in, and these pegs that you see, these are pegs straight off the Himalayan, so these can be pulled out the rubber, and then you have the serrated edges, which means that it'll give you better grip when you take it off-road. The handlebar too has changed, again for that whole scrambler feel. This is upright, it's wide, and so when you stand up and ride, or even when you're sitting, it gives you better leverage compared to the Interceptor. Seat is different too, it's slightly firmer, and of course the seat height has gone up given that there is more suspension travel. You've got a bigger wheel at the front, even the rear overall rolling circumference is more, so it's got a higher seat height, 830 mm compared to the Interceptor, so that's something to keep in mind. But otherwise, it is a motorcycle that is closely related to the Interceptor. In terms of specs and features, the Bear 650 runs the now proven 648cc air-cooled twin-cylinder engine. It continues to make around 47 bhp, but the torque is now up to 56.5 Newton meters. There is no change to the gearbox, but the final drive is now taller as the Bear runs a rear sprocket with 3 less teeth. The chassis meanwhile is still a double cradle frame, but it is now supported on 43 mm upside down forks at the front and twin shocks at the rear. These are both Showa units. The Bear also runs a longer wheelbase, courtesy the longer swing arm. It has a higher seat height at 830 mm, and it is lighter compared to the Interceptor as well. Feature-wise, the Bear 650 ditches the twin-pod analog unit from the Interceptor and uses a 4-inch color TFT display with phone connectivity and full map navigation. It is the same unit we have seen on the Himalayan 450 as well as the Gorilla. One can also turn off the rear ABS on the motorcycle when riding off-road, and it comes with a Type-C charging port for added practicality. There are a bunch of accessories on offer as well with the Bear, from bar end mirrors to a fly screen, headlamp guard, radiator guard, and a touring seat, among others. We expect when we ride the motorcycle, and we'll have a detailed report on that, this should make for a nicer, or at least a very distinct motorcycle to look at and ride. So stay tuned for how this motorcycle rides. We'll bring a full report to you soon.